What's up, guys, and welcome to Press A Repeatedly. Justin Thomaso here with you, and welcome back, Mr. Christopher Gold.
Hey, everybody. It is good to be back.
We missed you for sure. We hope you got your hand out of that pickle jar okay.
Actually, if we're being 100% honest, I haven't. My hand is still stuck in the pickle jar, but I had a revelation last week that I don't really need my hands to record the podcast. So, I still have the pickle jar affixed as we speak. I am not letting go of this pickle. I am going to get it out of here somehow, some way. But that is something that I'm going to have to figure out once our recording is done.
Well, you're a real trooper for coming into work today, considering
you can only pull so many sick days.
I do not want to know what a hand would look like after sitting in pickle juice for 3 weeks.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? The thing would be like all wrinkled and cracked and like, oh.
Chris and the very pickled hand. It's a whole new meaning for gangrene.
Oh god, yeah, right. Can you imagine? Justin, please help me. I like extend my claw towards you. You're like, ugh.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, I probably would not be hanging out with you anymore.
Man,
hope you understand.
Man, you think of any excuse to not hang out with me. First, it was the mushrooms growing on me from sitting out in the rain. Now it's because I've got a withered pickle hand from sitting in brine juice for 3 weeks. Man, you are extremely judgmental.
You know, I would imagine a withered pickle hand would make it quite difficult to play video games.
It would, and that is the purpose of our podcast, isn't it, Justin? Man, we are
so stupid.
We are experts at segues. We're so good at this. We are so good at this. Why would anyone else have a gaming podcast when we're just so amazing at this?
Yeah, well, you know, some people might wish they had a hand that was covered in pickle juice and unable to play games, because there are a ton of games coming out in Q4 of 2019. That's from September till the end of December. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about them. We're going to give you release dates for not all of them, but, you know, ones that we think are standing out, ones that are sure to be pretty big, gather a lot of interest, and just make it really inconvenient for anybody to get through any game within the next 3 months.
Right. So, right before we started recording, Justin shared a link with me from Game Informer just to go over all the games that are coming out in Q4. And I guess, like, I had put a few of them out of my mind, but I was reading over this list. I was thinking, holy crap, like, this is going to be a very busy season coming up. So, yeah, we've got to plan this out. We've got to strategize. And, we're going to look through that list and pick out some of the highlights, some of the games that are going to be our main focus. But that is not going to be until a little later in the show. For right now, though, we've been playing some video games, so let's just kick things right off. Justin, what are you playing?
All right, so what have I been playing? It's been a couple weeks since the last episode, obviously. I finished up a couple games that were kind of on my backlog that I was close to the end of. I talked about them in the last episode.
Right.
And there's still a couple more that I'm trying to get through. And the one I picked for now is I wanted to really get back into Tales of Berseria. It's the JRPG I've been playing at the end of last year. It came out, I think, 2 years ago. It's the latest Tales game that is available. A new one was announced, but that's not coming out until next year.
Right.
I talked about it a while ago when I first started playing it, I think it's great. I really enjoy the characters, especially Velvet. She's a really cool protagonist. You know, the actual whole story of the game is interesting, and not it's crazy, but it's not too crazy like you would expect from most JRPGs nowadays, where you're just kind of lost and you're like, what are they even talking about?
Right.
You know, I'm finding myself kind of sort of following along with it, and that's a pretty good you know, review, I guess, of being able to stay with the story.
Right. I think I saw a headline from the Hard Times. It's kind of like the Onion for video game news.
Right.
And they had an article where man who stopped playing JRPG for 1 week may as well just start over.
Yeah, so I ran that same issue, but replaced my 1 week with like 9 months.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. Now,
yeah.
Now, how many hours have you put into the game so far?
I'm around 23 right now, I think.
Okay, so by JRPG standards, you're kind of getting out of like the beginning phase.
Yeah, you know, like most JRPGs, there's a lot of extra stuff that's not necessary.
Right.
Not really doing a lot of that. Kind of mainlining it. And you know, I'm kind of just taking my time with it. I'll play like for an hour before bed, maybe a few nights a week, and just kind of slowly moving through it. But yeah, you know, I am having a really good time. Yeah, so that 9-month gap, I had stopped playing it. I remember because Red Dead Redemption 2 came out.
Oh, yes.
At the end of October last year. Mm-hmm. And I looked at my last save file, and I think the actual date of my last save was like the day before Red Dead 2 came out.
That kind of dominated all of our lives for a while there once that came out.
Yeah, and you know, I still had it back on my mind to go back to it. And yeah, there was not arguments, but discussions I had with myself where I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to go back to this? Should I just start over like you had mentioned, or just give up on it entirely? And I figured, you know, like I remember enough of the story and the characters, I think I can hop in there. Let me like give it a shot, right? So I hopped in there after 9 months, and yeah, you know, it was a little disorienting at first, but you know, I forgot that most JRPGs or RPGs in general have in their menu screen kind of like a journal or like a log of things that have happened in the story so far. And I never really used it because like I always knew what was going on. But in this case, it was perfect. I didn't remember anything.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
So, yeah, you know, I knew like the base story, but like what I was doing in this exact moment and everything, like I had no clue. So I just kind of ran through some of them, and they were brief and they weren't like too hard to digest or anything. And it really brought me up to speed, and you know, kind of helped me get back into the flow of it, and that was really appreciated.
All right, nice.
Yeah, the game's fun. Like if you play a Tales game, you really know what to expect. The combat, it's still fun, but it's a little button mashy for me. I feel like there's not really a lot of strategy, but I think that's a problem that a lot of active battle RPGs face nowadays, is that you're kind of focused on like one person and everybody else is just fighting alongside you, and there's ways you can kind of set them to do things in the menus like before or during a battle, but it's not that like step-by-step strategy that like turn-based RPGs offer. So different but still fun.
How's the pacing with the game? Like, do you feel like everything's kind of spaced out pretty well? Is it like are there like slow parts? What do you think about that?
So the story is pretty like heavy and starts off rather dark, and it's basically a revenge story. And you know, when you're playing as Velvet, the main character, she has this person that she wants to exact revenge on, and like that's like her sole focus. And you're kind of just moving to get to that point, and like you're interacting with other things around the way. Everybody in your party kind of has like their own thing going on. Like you got one guy who wants to defeat his brother in a sword fight. Another guy's a pirate and he's trying to find his missing captain. And you're kind of doing that stuff like on the way to where you have to go for the main story. So it all kind of flows really well, and the dialogue is really good, and the voice acting is very good for a JRPG too. So
Nice.
really appreciating that too.
All right, awesome.
All right, so that's Tales of Berseria, and the other day I started playing a newish game, a co-op game. I dove into Wolfenstein Youngblood with Butch.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a surprise. That is not the type of game that you typically play. So
That is true.
so that's awesome. Yeah, tell me all about it.
Yes, so I'm trying to play a lot more games this year than I did the previous couple years. This is one that just came out. Butch and I were talking one day. We wanted to play something. He had mentioned he had just picked that up, and I had wanted to check that out at some point, but I just didn't know when I would or whatever. And I thought, all right, this is a perfect time. So we spent Sunday for 3 or 4 hours just playing it, and we played a couple more hours last night, and it's really fun. It's a co-op shooter where you're playing as BJ Blazkowicz's daughters. It takes place a little bit in the future, and BJ has gone missing. So you're going out to try and find him.
Right.
The whole story and how everything works. I'm not really sure what's going on because I haven't really played a lot of Wolfenstein games. But what it's like, neo-Nazi future, Nazis control everything.
Yep.
Robot Nazis, dog Nazis,
Dog,
Nazis are everywhere.
Those friggin' dog Nazis. That's the worst betrayal of all, is that the dogs became Nazis.
But we were in it's called New Paris. It's Paris that has now been run over by Nazi control. And
oh man, here we go again.
Yeah. It throws you into the game really quickly. There's a little bit of backstory and a little bit of a video, but then you just start playing the first level, and then you kind of get caught up with what's going on. And yeah, it's just run and gun shooter co-op action with some very light platforming kind of thrown in there, and some very light puzzle solving that relies on the other player. So you play as either Jess or Soph. They are the two daughters of BJ. And if you're playing with somebody, you play as one or the other. And if you're playing solo, then you have a computer-controlled sister. So there's always two people playing.
Okay.
Because you need help from the sister to do certain things, like open certain doors, open certain chests, push some buttons. Yeah, everything is really weird. Everything designed by the Nazis requires two people to open. You gotta turn two keys into this thing to open it, or two hands have to push these levers to open a chest. So we're laughing at that kind of stuff. But
too clever for their own good.
Yeah. And the voice acting and dialogue's kind of corny and stuff, but I'm not sure if that's intentional. If maybe most of the games are like that.
Oh, I'm sure it is, because Wolfenstein, I'm sure from having played the game, it's kind of an over the top series.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself super duper seriously.
Yeah, definitely. But the gunplay, of course, is awesome. The weapons that you get to choose from are insane, and they all feel really good when you're firing them. You have it's got some light RPG elements too, where you get these experience points when you level up, and you have a little bit of a skill tree that you can unlock different things, more health, more armor, a move where you can run into enemies, or something a move where you can cloak yourself and go invisible for a little bit.
Move where you can give them a purple nurple, a move where you could give a Nazi a wet willy.
Yeah. You can upgrade all your weapons to do more damage and change different scopes on your rifles and stuff. There are some pretty crazy boss fights, giant robot Nazi monsters that you gotta take down. That also require teamwork. So one person will distract it while the other one shoots it in the back, and it's crazy. it can get difficult at times. You're dying a lot, and how it works is if one of the sisters goes down, the other sister has like maybe 20 seconds to come over and revive her. And if both sisters are down, you lose a life basically, and you have like 3 lives. So if 3 lives are lost, then it's game over.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you kind of gotta keep an eye on each other. There's a cool pep talk move that you can do where you basically tell your sister she looks great, or like she's kicking ass, or that you love her, and you like increase your either health or armor, and that has like a cooldown, so you can do that like once every like minute or so. And that really comes in handy when you're like stuck in a sticky situation.
I'm just imagining like either one or the other of you or Butch like shooting a robot like in the face. Trying to kill this Nazi robot. You're like, Justin, quick, praise me.
You're doing great, bud. You're so pretty today. I love your hair.
I love the way you match that dress with those shoes. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, and it's kind of got a little bit of an open world, and there's a lot of different missions you can pick from to do as well, and it's got a lot to offer. And I think it's about 25 or 30 hours of gameplay, and it's only $30, which is like a really good deal. And the graphics are phenomenal. And, it's running great. We're playing on PC.
Okay. I was just going to ask what system you were playing on.
Yeah, because it is available on the Switch as well as the other platforms.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, $30, man. That's a really good bang for your buck right there.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. And it's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it for anybody looking for a good co-op shooter. It feels a little bit Borderlands-y because like enemies respawn when you kill them in different rooms, and you get this whole leveling system, and there's a pretty good variety of weapons and stuff.
Right.
And it's funny, it's zany, and of course violent and crazy, but it's awesome. Yeah, it's really a lot of fun.
All right, nice. As much fun as you can possibly have shooting Nazis.
Yep. And those are both the main things I've played. I got my indie arcade, which we'll get to in a minute. So, Chris, why don't I throw it over to you? What are you playing?
All right. So, let me see. It's been a while since I've been on. And again, like since I've been on, I was in the middle of a move to, so. Not like a crazy amount of time for playing games because I've had to move and unpack, all that fun stuff. But I have had
all that fun stuff.
But I have had some time to squeeze in a few games. Firstly, I was playing some more Smash Brothers with Lewis. Lewis downloaded the hero character, so I was kind of his guinea pig as he was having some fights because he wanted to try out the different movesets, see what exactly the hero had to offer. So we played a few matches against each other just to try him out. And yeah, hero, just from the other side, he looks like a really cool character. Like he's got an insanely varied moveset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I talked about him a little bit last episode. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're definitely right. He's got like so many options. It's a ton of fun to play too.
One of our matches, I won because Lewis had one life left. He had one stock left, and I had 2. And he decided to use the self-destruct move, and he blew himself up. And I think he killed me too, but I had 1 extra life, so at that point, I won. So it was Lewis was like, okay, I got to time that one a little bit better. There were a lot of really close fights there. I managed to beat him as Sonic and as Yoshi. We had one very, very close match where I was DDD, but he pulled out the win at the end. And yeah, it was it was really cool. I gotta say, like when I first saw Hero announced and I saw all of the different moves that Hero could do, I gotta admit, at first I thought that it's kind of a little cheap. Because I'm like, come on, like he's got all these moves, like he can just zip to the middle of the screen if he's like way off the stage. He can just do an instant crit move if he hits you. I was like, a lot of that just doesn't seem fair. But I didn't realize until actually playing against him that it's balanced out by the fact that when he has to open up the menu and he's just sitting there thinking about which move you have to go with, and during that time he's completely exposed and completely vulnerable. It's like
Right.
it's a huge weakness. So at that point I appreciated the character a lot more after that, and I realized, okay, he doesn't have it as good as I initially thought he did. So yeah, he was very fun to fight against, at least. And yeah, I'm looking forward to trying him out for myself at some point.
Yeah, definitely. And all the variations of him are cool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all the moves. And yeah, like you said, you bring up that menu, you have to pay attention because you might accidentally hit that kamikaze move and kill yourself if you're not even paying attention. So,
Yep. Yeah, you got to be quick on your feet.
Yep.
Let me see. So, I also managed to snag a newer release over the past few weeks. That, of course, is Fire Emblem: The Three Houses.
Oh boy. So there's a lot of talk about this game. People are very hyped about it. I, for one, am not so hyped, but I haven't really seen it in action yet, and I'm trying to get different people's perspectives, and I would love to hear what you think.
All right, so my perspective is it's good.
Okay. Well, that's all for this
So
week,
moving
Paul.
on. No. So I understand that there's a lot of trepidation out there about Fire Emblem Three Houses, particularly regarding the school system and how exactly that works and meshes with the battle system. And I gotta say, personally, I feel like it's meshed very well, and it works as a good balance to a lot of the battles that you are going to be going through as you're playing the game. So you start out as a mercenary, and you get to choose your character's gender. You can name them, and you're a mercenary who saves the three main people who are in charge of each of the three houses. They're being chased by bandits. You come in, you save them. It's a tutorial mission, and then from there you're led back to the school that they're all participating in, and you get to choose which house you want to be a member of from there. And this is a game that naturally has a lot of replayability because you can go back and you can choose different houses. You can also recruit people from other houses to be a part of your house. So it's kind of a typical like English boarding school system where think the comparison I guess is Harry Potter, where you have like the four main houses that people are sorted into. It's a similar setup here, where it's a school that is run by the church, and it takes place in the land of Fodlan. And there are three main areas. I don't remember their specific names off the top of my head, but there's the Empire, which rules most of the land. There's the Kingdom, which rules an area to the north. And then there's the Alliance, which rules a little area up in the northeast. Representatives from each of these lands represent the three main characters who are in charge of each of the three houses. So essentially, when you decide to sign up with one of these houses, you're lending your support for one of these factions. Now, everyone is friendly to each other. No one's really like, those bastards in the kingdom, or those dogs in the alliance. Nothing like that. Everyone is very friendly with each other initially. So I decided to go with, let me see, the three houses. There are the Black Eagles, which is represented by Edelgard, who's from the Empire. There's the Blue Lions, who are the Kingdom, and they're represented by Dimitri. And then there's the internet's favorite boy, Claude, who is representative of the Golden Deer for the Alliance.
Why do people love Claus so much?
Because, man, Claude is fucking hot.
What? Oh, I gotta look this up.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's the yellow-colored one. Like, Edelgard is the girl with the platinum blonde hair and the purple eyes. Dimitri's the blue one with the blonde hair. And Claude, he is the dark-skinned fella with those dreamy eyes that you could get lost in for days and days.
Wow, you really could get lost in these. Wow.
Yeah, so I did not choose Claude, though. I chose the Black Eagles and Edelgard.
Okay.
So before you get to sign up with one of these houses, you can go around, you learn how to explore the school, and they have the main kitchens, they have gardens, they have the chapel, and you get to explore all of these areas, and you talk to the students, and you get to know them a little bit. So you get to kind of know, okay, what are the people in this house like, what are the people in that house like, and then at a point in time, like I guess like maybe 25 minutes into the game, you can choose like, okay, who do you want to be a part of? So you choose, and boom, your course is essentially set for the first part of the game anyway. And then what happens is you were a mercenary, but now you're a professor. So now you're actually in charge of teaching the members of your house. So what happens is each month you sort of create a lesson plan based on the characters in your house. Like, say this person is good with spears and not so great with books, then you'll assign them plans like, okay, well, let's just reinforce their skills with the spear and just neglect the books. We don't have to do that. And you have another character who's vice versa. So again, you kind of play to their strengths. Or you can see a character who their strengths are like, oh, they're great with spears and they're great with their fists, but they also have a hidden talent, or that one of their likes or dislikes, like one of their likes, they like learning. So you'll say, okay, well, let's tap that a little bit. So you can say, okay, let's make them go into more studious classes where there's a lot more learning and book-related learning rather than combat. And you go through the lessons each week, and the characters will either have great lessons where they'll learn a lot, or poor lessons where they won't really learn anything. And then at the end of each month, they have exams that they can take, and they have a certain percentage to pass them or not, and they can then use their newfound knowledge to multi-class or change their class to something more appropriate to what you're teaching them, or to reinforce the lessons that you've put in place for them.
Okay, so I see how that works, and that does sound interesting.
So, yeah, that's how the characters like actually level up and learn skills throughout the course of the month. And then, for story-related reasons, at the end of each month, each house has a responsibility to help protect the surrounding area from marauding bandits or thieves or invading armies for one reason or another. So you will then have the opportunity to take your house into battle. And everybody comes along, and it's just classic tactical RPG Fire Emblem style. You've got your characters, you move them around the squares, and they have one-on-one fights with everybody. There's a gambit system that certain characters have access to where they're in control of particular armies. And as if you use a gambit against the enemy, then all of your soldiers can kind of like bum rush the enemy, and they'll do like significantly more damage. Or if you're paired with one of your teammates, you can combine gambits. It's really fun. Like I gotta say, like I'm really having a blast with the game so far.
Yeah, I do like that layer of strategy that they added. I mean, that does sound pretty interesting. How long? Like, what's the ratio? I guess of like the training during the month period to like battle. Like, is it like battle and then a few hours of like training, or is it like pretty even?
I'd say there's probably a little bit more time involved in training, but not too much, because each battle kind of takes a little while to get through, because you have every member of your house, you've got a ton of enemy soldiers you have to deal with. So the battle phase of the game takes a very long time in and of its own right. The training portion can take a while if you say like you're trying to decide, okay, what if you're trying to figure out your lesson plan, like which lessons am I going to teach the students, because the actual lessons themselves, once you say okay teach, then they just like they instantly go by. Like it doesn't take any time at all. And plus there's also time to wander around the school grounds. You can do side missions for different people. You can go to the shops, you can buy extra items like healing potions. You can get to know your students a little bit better on a personal level. What's fun too is you can actually see, like, if you go into the menu, I forget what it's called, but the characters, like the students, can interact with each other. And you can say, okay, I want this, this person is going to interact with this person during this particular moment in the week. And then that will bring up like an animated cutscene where the two of them interact, and it's usually lighthearted. It's nothing too serious, but then it strengthens the bond between those characters. And characters that have strong bonds fight better, and they heal themselves. They heal each other on the battlefield if they fight together.
Oh, okay.
So everything you do on the training side has an effect on the battlefield, so nothing feels like it's going to waste.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see it in action. So have me over one time.
Yeah, not a problem. Lewis is also he's playing the hell out of it right now, so he can tell you a lot about the game. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend it. I understand if the school thing still isn't anyone's cup of tea. If they don't want to dive into it, that's fine, but I think it's worth a look.
Yeah, me and Zola were talking briefly about it last week, and we both really like the idea that they're trying something new, because it could be very easy for them to just make like a new Fire Emblem game on the console.
Right.
But it's just the way they were marketing it made it seem like battles were just a very, very like small part of the game. But that doesn't sound true. It sounds like it's pretty well balanced. So yeah, I'm interested in checking it out.
Right. Yeah. I gotta say, like, the marketing for Three Houses definitely, in retrospect, was very confusing. I remember telling you, I would have been very shocked if they didn't have a direct specifically related to Fire Emblem, especially because it's become one of their main franchises over the past few years, and that never actually materialized, which is surprising.
I was surprised as well.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't try to push that one a little bit more. But the game is out now. It's a lot of fun. The battles are not a small portion of the game. In fact, like, they're, again, the main focus. Again, like, all the training, all the schooling feeds directly into the actual battles that you're going to be fighting. So
Yeah.
it's all a lot of prep work for that eventual battle that happens at the end of each month. So there's still the focus, I assure you that.
Has there been any weird teacher-student romance yet?
Not yet. But I assure you, I'm working on it.
You're a real trooper.
I do what I can, man. Hey, look, Edelgard, man, she's got those purple eyes, the platinum hair. I mean, how can I resist? How can I resist? I mean, yes, there's multiple levels of immorality and illegality going on there that tell me no, but Teachers, if you listen to our podcast, please don't date your students.
Well, good luck with that.
I'm begging you, don't. Let me see.
What else you got?
The last game I'm going to talk about, Justin, this one is one that you had actually played, and from you talking about it so much, made me want to play it, so I actually picked it up the other day, started playing it. That game is Baba Is You.
Oh, all right. So let me know what you think, because I got stuck in that game so hard. I hit such a wall that I furiously stopped playing it, and I have not gone back.
I feel you, man. I played a few levels of that game. I'm like, okay, I can move things around. I can control the rules of this particular level. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I move things. I'm like, oh, I'm moving the walls around. I'm the wall. Oh, that's so neat. And I reach the finish line, and I'm in the lake area of the game, and I'm like, what the hell do I do? I'm like, Justin, I've always been a fan of puzzle games. Like, I like games that exercise my mind and make me think, and okay, how can I work my way around this particular problem? So something like Baba Is You is nominally right up my alley. This is really hard, just right out the gate, because I can't just think, okay, here's the layout of the map, here's all the rocks that I can push and the skulls that will defeat me. Now I have to rearrange the rules to to make it so that I can win. But there are some rules that are up against the edge of the screen, or they're sequestered way far away, so I can't change those rules. And I have to strictly adhere to them. So I'm like, okay, but sticking to those rules, what do I do? It's it's driving me nuts. It's still a lot of fun, but I'm like, oh man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I equated it to going on a joyride, and everything is great. You're cruising, you got your music playing, you're having a great time. It's a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. You're laughing. And then you just slam into the side of a skyscraper and you're dead. Because, I hit this wall that was so hard. I spent 2 to 3 frustrated hours trying to beat this one level, and I got nowhere close. And I just stopped playing.
I feel like I realize this might be blasphemous, but after a certain time, if you're stuck on a puzzle for an hour or so, you can YouTube that. You can you can be like, okay, you know what? I give up. How the hell do I beat this?
Yeah, I want to do that, but I also don't want to do that for every puzzle that's left in the game.
Oh yeah, no. You're that's got to be a method of last resort. You can't just immediately look up the answer. You got to.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they're all that hard, if I spend a half an hour on each one and I still can't get
right.
to it.
But what if the puzzle that you're stuck in? What if it teaches you how to do a thing that you didn't know you could do before, and then the puzzles after that have that same mechanic, and you're like, okay, now that I'm thinking about it this way, now I can figure out the problem that ordinarily I wouldn't have been thinking about, you know?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea because this one level, I just don't understand what I think I've tried everything, so I'm just really curious to see what you are supposed to do to beat that. So I think I might have to look that up.
Yeah, after a certain point, you can just say, okay, you know what? I mean, you bought the game, like you could do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right. It's such a cool idea. It's so unique that I think it makes it really stand out among like not only the large amount of puzzle games that are out there today, but the large amount of indie games that are out there today.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I think everybody should definitely give this one a shot, especially puzzle fans.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, if you're a fan of indie games, puzzle games, if you're a fan of getting your brain racked trying to figure out solutions, then this is the game for you, because you are definitely going to be flexing those brain muscles a little, trying to figure these puzzles out. But it is really good. The controls are super responsive. Yeah, from a technical standpoint, no issues whatsoever. I love the look of the game. Like I love Baba, the little sheep. Everything about this game looks great, but it is just ridiculously hard.
Yeah, it's crazy and fascinating and so many different emotions.
Just a swirl of emotions. But so that's all I have been playing, which means that is the end of What Are You Playing, which means that it's time for us to get into the Indie Arcade.
Indie Arcade.
If y'all remember, and if you don't, that's okay. It's been a while. I had assigned Justin the hit indie game My Friend Pedro to try out and play. So, Justin, what do you think?
All right, so yes, indeed, My Friend Pedro was the game on the table for this week. If you're not familiar with it, it is published by Devolver Digital. It is like another run and gun shooter type of game. Devolver's known for like some pretty edgy with like tongue-in-cheek humor, 2D action shooter style games, along with other games as well. But I think of games like Hotline Miami or 8-Out or something like that that are kind of similar to My Friend Pedro. This game, I feel like if you wanted to have a game where you could play the life of a stuntman, I feel like this is it. My Friend Pedro. It's crazy the amount of stuff you can do, and how addicting and fun the gameplay is of just killing bad guys in like the coolest, most dramatic possible like move sets. Like imagine like some action movie you're watching, right? Mm-hmm. And that really cool scene where the hero like I don't know bends backwards and shoots a guy while sliding under a door, right? You're like, oh wow, that movie was cool, but that one scene was really awesome.
Right.
This game, every fight is that one scene. You can make it however you want. It's crazy. So you have the option to slow down time, which is always fun. Think of like Max Payne or something.
Oh yeah.
You have like a wall jump, which again, always fun. You can dual wield pistols and Uzis, which is awesome.
Oh hell yeah.
You can do flips in the air. You can roll on the ground and shoot. You can dodge bullets by spinning around, which really doesn't make sense, but it looks really funny, but it's great when it happens. And probably the coolest part about the game is you can lock onto an enemy with one of your guns and then aim your other gun at a different enemy and fire them both at the same time and kill them both at the same time.
Nice.
Which is awesome. So we've seen a lot of trailers for this game and
Oh, yeah.
gameplay footage and how it works. So I'm thinking to myself, like, how does this control scheme work? It looks pretty advanced. I couldn't really think about how, the logistics of that, basically, right? And I should note, I'm playing on PC, and I went with mouse and keyboard over controller. So I'm still not sure how it works on controller, but I'm sure it's kind of the same. So basically what you do is you put the green circle on somebody, and then your normal crosshairs you put on an enemy. You press the right mouse button to turn it green and hold.
Okay.
So while that's being held, you move the cursor, and now it's a yellow circle. That's going to be your other gun's crosshair. And you move that to the other enemy that you want to fire at. And then you just hammer on the fire button, and you shoot both guns at the same time. And
Oh,
you
damn.
can do it
Okay.
while spinning. You can do it while jumping. You can do it in slow motion. You can do it off the wall. There's so many cool ways to kill people. that
Just so many.
Yeah, and it's just so fun, and every room that you enter is a new challenge because the AI is very smart. They're not like typical video game AI where they shoot like 3 times and maybe hit you once. Like, they see you, they fire, you're gonna get hit. So you have to be very quick with your actions. You have to take advantage of that slowdown time. You have to kind of like see where everybody is before you enter a room and kind of have in your mind how you want to go about it. And then try and execute it the best way that you could think of to try and take out these guys. And I'm playing on normal difficulty, where they don't take away as much damage, and my health slowly regenerates, and it's still kind of
Okay.
tough, but not too challenging to play or anything. So I'm definitely getting through these levels I'm putting some work in, but it's not like too hard. It's crazy because the enemies come back so fast. Like, you'll clear out a room, and then a door will open, and like another guy will come out, and you just gotta be so quick about it. You gotta keep an eye on your slowdown meter, because if you run out of that, you can't go in slow motion anymore.
Right.
You gotta dodge as fast as you can if you're in trouble, and just try and maintain focus of like where you're aiming and stuff. So it's a lot of like motor skills, I guess, involved in this game, but it's really fun. And when you pull off some really cool, sick superhero like action movie stuff, it feels great.
That sounds really, really kick-ass. Now, the game is called My Friend Pedro. Are you Pedro? Are you doing this on behalf of your friend Pedro? What exactly is the story going on here? What is the drive here?
So Pedro is a talking banana that hovers next to you, and you just kind of wake up, and he's there, and he's talking to you, and he's just like, all right, we gotta go this way, come on. And you just follow him, and he kind of brings you through like a tutorial and stuff, and he's talking to you the whole time, and he's got that like that tongue-in-cheek like sense of humor and stuff.
Right, because Devolver.
Yeah. So right now, I'm not sure who he is, why he's there, why he's a banana, why he's talking to me. He just is, and I'm okay with that because I love weird stuff. I love bananas. So
A small part of me just really wishes that you never get an explanation.
Yeah.
Like you just go through the game. He's like, and there's this floating banana there, like, hey, time to go. And so you go and you go through the game, and and then at the end it's like, wow, you won.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And that's the end of the game. And you never get an explanation for who he is, what he is, none of it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely strange, but I like the weird stuff, so I'm cool with it. The music's great. It's like that 80s like synth kind of driving stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. The enemies in the first... So I played for about an hour, and I beat the first, I guess, leg of the game. And
Right.
You're in like this factory that makes this weird meat product, and there's this guy named Mitch the Butcher, who is like, I guess, the boss that you're trying to get to and take out. and all of his goons are like old Italian wannabe mafia guys that are wearing like tracksuits and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they all come out and like they're all just coming after you. Like there's so many of them in so many different colored tracksuits. um, but you go through each level, and levels are short. They're only about like, if you take your time, you're gonna beat it in 3 minutes. But if you run through, you can beat it probably in less than a minute.
Oh, well, wow. Okay, that's
yeah,
super short.
they're very brief, and at the end of each level, you get like points for like how fast you beat it, how many kills you got, that sort of thing, and you get like a letter grade, like a C, a B, an A.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if those are really accurate, like because I would do one level where I thought I did really bad, and I got like a B for pretty good. And then another level where I thought I did great, and the meter went like beep, and I got like a C. So I don't know if they're like messing with you, because when I beat the boss, I got like a full perfect S, like S for super cool or something, and I like took a lot of damage. I didn't do that great in the boss fight, so I think they just kind of like maybe make it up as they go or something.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it is Devolver, so it's entirely possible that they could be making fun of that entire system.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you never really know with them, but yeah, the game sounds very kick-ass. I mean, I've been following that game for a while, watching a lot of the trailers and some gameplay footage, and it looked really, really kick-ass. And I'm very, very happy to hear that it's lived up to the hype.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Again, I'm only through the first leg of it. I've heard some people say it can get kind of repetitive and stale the more you go, and I can see that. In fact, I was right before the boss fight, I was starting to think about that, and like, is this gonna start to get a little stale? But then the boss fight, you're on a motorcycle and you're racing through the streets and you're just shooting at these guys. It's like the same like kind of stuff. You can still slow down time. You can still jump somehow with the motorcycle. You can like wheelie like to the front of the screen or slam the brakes, move to the back. Tons of guys come at you, and then Mitch the Butcher comes at you in like a food truck, and like that's when you're fighting him. Like what you guys are just kind of racing and shooting at each other and stuff. And
shit.
It like varied up the gameplay a bit and was just super fun. And I beat him and then went to the next level, and that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's super addictive. The gameplay feels so good. The physics are really good. The main character, his jumps sometimes feel a little slow, like he's kind of jumping through pudding or something. I guess you gotta get used to it. And he jumps towards where you're aimed at. So if you have the cursor behind him, he's not going to be able to jump forward. So you kind of have to you got to be conscious of where your cursor is when you're doing like these jumps. And some of the levels require like tricky wall jumps and stuff. So that can be a little difficult. But once you get the hang of it, I don't think it's too bad. And yeah, overall, the game's a ton of fun. Like you said, we've all been looking forward to it for a while. I think it was shown off a couple years ago at E3, so we had a little bit of a wait, but it's here. It's on all the consoles. It's on Switch as well. It's super fun, and I'm super glad I got to talk about it.
All right, nice. So I'm glad you had a great time with My Friend Pedro.
Yes, I'm very thankful it was assigned to me by you. Which means
right.
how well I return the favor. I won't lie, I started looking for a very bad game to give you, but I decided you did not deserve it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was coming across some new games on Nintendo Switch, and this one I'm about to give you is actually not out yet. It will be out on Thursday, so a couple days from now as we record this.
I see.
Yes. This game is on Nintendo Switch. It is going to be $8 when it comes out, so it's a nice price.
Mm-hmm.
The art style is really cool. I think you will enjoy it a lot. It comes out on the 23rd, and that game is called Plunge. Plunge. Plunge.
Plunge, eh?
It's time to take the plunge. Enter the adventure of Billy, the billionth prisoner, in this turn-based dungeon plunging adventure. Billy, the billionth prisoner of a wacky medieval mega prison, longs to find freedom on the other side. Rather than try to climb her way out, Billy realizes the only way to freedom is to escape further into the depths below. Dodge, dash, and defeat a wide variety of guards, creatures, and otherworldly beings, bent on preventing passage in this exciting turn-based dungeon plunger.
Huh. I'm looking at the I'm looking at the trailer for it right now, and I really like the art style for it. It's a very unique style. Like, it's a lot of grays, but there's a lot of contrast. Like, it's everything is very sharp and well defined. There is like some good colors, like some reds and some purples in there that mix everything up. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, the art style definitely stood out to me. It looks like something we would draw actually.
It does. It does. Yeah.
It's got this cool cartoony look to it with like thick outlines that I love. And yeah, the color contrast is great. It's like the base is like black and gray and monochromatic, but it's highlighted with like these neon colors that really stand out and look sharp. And it looks like a really cool turn-based RPG that's like kind of D&D-ish inspired, or maybe even like kind of board game inspired. It looks like it could be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it looks really cool and unique. I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of this one coming into this, but it looks really, really cool, and I am excited to give it a shot. Now, you said it's coming out as we were recording this this Thursday, the 23rd.
Or I guess Friday. Yeah, Friday is 23rd.
Friday the 23rd. I see. Okay. Right, because today's Wednesday. Okay. Yes. All right. So, that looks awesome. I will absolutely pick this up, and I will absolutely play it.
All right. Well, why don't you chew on that for a bit, and we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we will discuss some of the biggest upcoming games for the remainder of 2019.
Oh, mamacita.
Welcome back to Press A Repeatedly. Justin Tomasello here with Chris Gold, and for the next 20 or 30-ish minutes, we will be your guide to video games coming out Q4 2019. It's the busiest time of the year, no doubt about it. Tons of big stuff coming out, and I kind of want to talk about this today, Chris, because I need a little bit of assistance. Because I'm gonna have to really pick and choose just a couple of these because I don't have enough time to play, any of these games and make it anywhere near far, because seemingly like every week a new game is going to be coming out that I'm going to be interested in. Sometimes multiple games coming out on the same day. So yeah, it's gonna be quite the challenge to pick and choose here.
Yeah, we got a lot of games hitting fast and heavy in the fall and at Christmas time. So we gotta sort this out. We gotta straighten this up. Like, we gotta pick and choose. Like, okay, which games are gonna take priority for us? Which games can we ignore? This is gonna be a challenge. But Justin, I'm here with you through this. We're gonna get through this together. You and me. We got this, buddy. We got it.
Yeah, and we're going off of a list on Game Informer's website about just game releases for the year. They got it broken out month by month. We're starting in September, obviously. And I don't know about you, Chris, but the biggest one on this list, I think, is NASCAR Heat 4.
NASCAR Heat 4. All the racing action that you could ever ask for, all in one video game. Justin, I don't know how to even fake being excited for this game. It just does nothing for me.
I thought NASCAR Heat 3 really brought the series to a head. I didn't think there was any room for potential NASCAR Heat 4.
You idiot. NASCAR Heat 2 is clearly the pinnacle of the series. I mean, you had friggin' Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, all the classics. I mean, how could you top any of those guys?
NASCAR Heat 2 with its two-person roster.
I mean, you could choose one or the other. I mean,
instrumental.
The stakes have never been higher.
Okay, let's pull it in a little bit.
No, but indeed, September, as it always is the month for sports games. So we've got that is true. So we've got your NASCAR Heat 4. There's NHL 20. I see in there. Pro Evolution Soccer, the PES 2020, NBA 2K20. So FIFA 20 is also coming out. So you got your soccer, you got your hockey, you got your racing, you got all that fun stuff. Which, I mean, they're sports games. If you're inclined to play sports games, then you're already invested in purchasing these games and getting them. So those are coming out in September. Not necessarily the highest on my priority list. I'm sure not on yours, Justin, but they are there. So something to keep in mind if you want to pick any of those games up.
Everybody's different.
What?
Let's see. I think the biggest one earliest in the month, on September 6th, the DLC for Monster Hunter World Iceborne releases.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's offering a bunch of new stuff, a whole new area, a whole new monsters, new weapons, just, plenty to expand upon an already massive game. And, the popularity of Monster Hunter World was so big earlier in, the beginning of last year that I think a lot of people are still hungry for more.
See, the earliest game that I've kind of got my eye on is River City Girls. That is sort of a follow-up to the old River City Ransom game for the NES. The side-scrolling side-scrolling beat 'em up. River City Girls. It's being developed by Way Forward. It's the same team that worked on the Shantae games. It's got kind of that similar art style to it, and it's pretty much the same type of gameplay. You control one of two girls, and you're just going through town, and you're beating up hoodlums and bad guys, and just trying to rack up that high score. It looks really awesome, and I love the art style. And I mean, it's way forward, so it's going to be solid gameplay.
Yeah, I did hear about that game, and I did also think it looks cool. I kind of forgot that's what that was, and now I'm adding it to my list of things to be interested in.
Yep, well, there you go. Let me see. We've also got Gears 5 coming out, kind of early-ish in the month. Now, I've never really played any of the Gears of War games, so that's one that I know a lot of people are super hyped about, especially for the Xbox crowd. They're pretty starved for exclusive games for the Xbox One, so that's something that a lot of people are keeping an eye on. It's a very, very popular franchise for certainly good reason, I'm sure. But for me personally, it's one that I'm not really keen on.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Gears 4. The way it kind of starting a new trilogy was really intriguing. You're absolutely right. Microsoft, they need some big exclusives, and this is definitely one of them. I think it's going to go over quite well. It's hard for you or I to really speak about it because we don't own Xbox Ones and we don't really play the Gears games. But I see that being a very heavy hitter for the end of the year.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a desperately needed coup for the Microsoft crowd.
Yeah, and then just 3 days after that, arguably the most anticipated game of 2019 for some people, Borderlands 3 will release.
Oh boy, that one is that is going to be a heavy hitter. I mean, aside from Gears 5 for the Xbox, for a game that's available for all systems, Borderlands 3, that's going to be one that everyone is going to be scrambling for.
Yeah, I mean, just from the huge hype train, the long lead time between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, all the videos, E3 presence, the fact that it's going to be on Stadia. I think it's the first announced game for Stadia, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot riding on this, and it's going to be a huge release when that comes out on September 13th.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's interesting seeing because I'm so used to seeing the different systems that are next to each game being released. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and now you've got Stadia thrown in there. Yeah, this is the first really major release coming out for Stadia, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of issues people may or may not run into playing the game for that service.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a risky strategy, having such a hyped game kind of be a guinea pig, but that's it's Google. Google's gonna do what they're gonna do. But yeah, I think everyone is really excited for that one and is looking forward to picking that one up.
Yeah, and then that same day for Switch fans, Daemon X Machina comes out.
Yeah, that's finally coming out.
Yeah, did you play that demo when that was released?
I did not.
Me either.
Well then, moving on.
No, it's this game looks cool. I know that when that demo did come out, it was over a year ago, and it was one of those ones where you could play it and then give your feedback to the developers, and they kind of workshop the game based off of that. So I'm interested to see what the final product is like. I want to watch some videos, learn some more information about it. But awesome mech game on the Switch sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, a lot of people who played the demo, when I say like everyone really enjoyed it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to check that one out when it's finally released. Let me see. So later in the month, on the 20th, we've got two big games coming out, remasters. We've got Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, being remastered for PlayStation 4, and also coming out for Switch and PC.
That game, when that came out a few years ago, was obviously a huge cult hit for a lot of RPG fans or a lot of Miyazaki fans. And I didn't think that would be one of the games to ever be ported to Switch, and here we are. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I mean, you ever want to play one of Miyazaki's movies, then there you go. Ni no Kuni's the game for you. Same day, coming out on the Switch, is the remake of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I am so excited for this.
I am very, very hyped for that. I think the art style looks great. I can't wait to. I just can't wait to dive into this game again and just explore everything again. It just looks so good.
Yeah, after seeing so much footage of it at E3, we both played and loved the hell out of the original Link's Awakening. And that new art style, the new dungeon creation kind of minigame that's in there as well. It just sounds like it's going to be a really good package and will be huge for the end of September.
Yeah, I just cannot wait. Let me see. And then we're kind of rounding off the end of the month with let me see, it's the Dragon Quest XI S. It's the, I believe, complete edition of Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah, it's super long name. Dragon Quest XI Echoes of the Elusive Age S Edition, or that's like the whole name on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming to Switch. This is it's a game that's obviously came out last year, but it's important because a few of us in the PAR crew have kind of been waiting, hoping it was coming to Switch, because we knew it came out on Switch and 3DS in Japan. And here it is. It's got this cool new Super Nintendo style graphics Switch toggle thing that can be played. It's got fully orchestrated music. It looks awesome. Of course, it looks like a really great JRPG. The question is, do I have time to play a 120-hour RPG at this incredibly busy time of the year? I don't think I do, but I still want to get that. Maybe I would pick it up and just wait for a slower time or something, but I am still interested in giving that a shot.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is one of those games where you kind of have to make a lifetime commitment to actually playing. You have to give up your life responsibilities, your home, your family, and just play Dragon Quest. Gotta get those slimes.
Yeah, Zool played it last year. It was on his top 10 games list. He really enjoyed it, and I watched him play some of it, and it looked great. So yeah, I'm excited for that, but I probably won't pick it up right away. But I am looking forward to that.
Yep, that is more than fair. So Justin, that's September.
Yeah, all that stuff. 1 month.
All that we just talked about, September. So now we go into October, and October, we dive right into October with a big expansion for Destiny 2, October 1st, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that was coming out this month actually.
Yeah, that's coming right up. Now we've kind of fallen off from playing Destiny 2 after a while. Like, a lot of the expansions that have come out haven't really done enough to really draw us in personally. I know when the game first launched, like there was a few week period at the start where we were playing that game nonstop and we were having a blast. But then the game was running into a lot of issues at the start, and we all just kind of fell off of it. But it is really cool to see. I know Dave still plays Destiny 2 religiously, so he's probably really, really hyped for the new expansion.
Yeah, I think when the new expansions come out, him and his buddies get back in it for a little bit, and I'm sure that will be no exception with this new one. Let's see. So I didn't realize this, but there is a Story of Seasons game coming out on the Switch on October 11th. I believe this is a remake of one of the Story of Seasons games.
Yeah, because Doraemon I know is that is a very, very long running anime over in Japan. And it looks like this is a crossover with the Story of Seasons.
I see. Yeah, okay. So it is half Story of Seasons, half Doraemon. Interesting.
Yes. So, especially for a lot of the Japanese crew out there, this is probably something that everyone would be really interested in picking up. So, we've got that guy coming out. A few days after that, on the Nintendo Switch, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition coming out.
Yeah, and Chris, you and I were talking about this before we started recording. There have been many reports that the port of this game is just running fantastic on the Switch, and people are shocked at how well it's performing on this hybrid console.
Yeah, myself included. This if those reports are to be believed, because I mean, let's face it, like you and I, we love the Switch, but it's not the most technically advanced piece of hardware. And The Witcher 3, yeah, it's an older game, but it's still a very intensive game. I mean, there's stuff you could do, there are things you can do, side quests you can go on. You can get lost in that game for just hours and hours and hours and still have just so much to do and see. And for it to run as smoothly as it would on the Switch, I think would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I have still regrettably yet to even give the game a shot. I haven't picked it up in any form, so this might make sense for me to grab. I know it's another long one, but I've always wanted to play it. I've heard so many great things, so yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll grab it in the middle of October.
Playing the long game, waiting for the Switch version, even years ago, before there even was a Switch.
Yeah.
It's just
what
like,
can
Justin,
I say? I'm a prophet.
You are. Justin, why haven't you picked it? I think it's going to come out on a portable handheld console one day. Justin, you're out of your mind. Why?
Yep, that is definitely what I was thinking.
So, let me see. So, about a week after that, for anyone who's into it, you've got WWE 2K20 coming out. I know wrestling games are super, super popular. I don't think I've played a wrestling game in years and years, but it's coming out. So it's coming out in October if you're looking forward to it. Same thing with Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, so here's where it gets crazy. There are 3 pretty huge games coming out on the same day, October 25th.
Mm-hmm. This is a very heavy-hitting day. So October 25th, you've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You've got Medieval, PS4 exclusive, and one game I'm very, very looking forward to, The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, all 3 of these are dropping on the same day.
Man, that is that's a lot. I mean, we're talking about all these games coming out in the same time period. Those 3 games coming out on the same day. Justin,
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a lot. My money, I'm focusing on The Outer Worlds because that's something I'm really hyped for and really looking forward to. But yeah, there you got so many options.
Yeah, the medieval remake coming to PlayStation 4. They showed off some of that E3. That's looking really great. Um, Call of Duty, of course, everybody loves those games, and that will sure be a huge one in the series. But yeah, the Outer Worlds, we've been following this one for a while. It's very Fallout-esque. It's been worked on by Obsidian and the creators of the original first two Fallout games. Just recently, it was announced that it's also going to be coming to Nintendo Switch, although this website currently does not list it as being available on October 25th, so that might be a game that comes out later for the Switch.
Right.
But yeah, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, all coming out on October 25th.
Oh boy. Let's see. So then, a few days after that, we're getting a remake of Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz HD.
Yeah, from what I heard, that is a remake of not the great ones that we used to play, but one that came out on I think Wii. That's really not that good, so I'm kind of bummed out about that.
Right, but who knows? Maybe it'll be better in HD than it was before. I don't know. It's Super Monkey Ball, your mileage may vary. And then, Justin, on Halloween, we've got The Moons of Madness coming out. Now, I know you are super, super excited for this one. You get to it looks like an explorer on the moon. Moons of Madness is bringing cosmic horror to PS4. So it's a Lovecraftian horror game. I know how much you love those types of games, so you are very, very excited for that one game that is coming out on Halloween.
Chris, you're doing a bit and it's failing hard because the greatest game of all time is coming out on October 31st.
Okay.
And that game
let's pump those
is
brakes.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Greatest game of all time. I really.
You know what? I don't even need to play it. I already know.
Yeah, just at your end of the year list, just put it right at the top. Justin, you didn't even buy this game. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I already know.
It's number one.
Yeah, Luigi, number one.
In all honesty, yes, Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out on Halloween, a perfect date for it. It's a game I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't expect Luigi's Mansion 2, and we got that, and I enjoyed that immensely. Game looks great. It was a big highlight at E3 for Nintendo this year. It looks weird and funny and goofy, and there's like a new kind of system with the hotel that Luigi will be at, where he kind of goes to different floors, and each floor is like a different setting, and it just looks like a ton of fun, starring the main man Luigi, and yeah, I can't wait to pick that up.
I will say I'm willing to just simply assign this award right now. Best new character of 2019, Gooigi.
Okay, well.
Yep. Book it.
I guess we can go there.
Yep.
All right, so that wraps up October. We get our trick-or-treating out of the way. We throw away our jack-o'-lanterns, and just in time for Just Dance 2020 on November 5th.
Hell yeah.
And look at the list of consoles that it's coming out on.
Yep. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Wii, not Wii U, Wii, and Stadia.
Yes, the Nintendo Wii is getting a new game on November 5th, 2020.
I believe they confirmed that this is going to be the last game that is developed originally for the Wii. So that's officially it. Once that game comes out, that you can finally close the book on the Wii.
Yeah, it's crazy that they've kept making them for the Wii. I think it's kind of cool that they knew that they had a pretty big fan base, I guess, on there that really enjoyed using the Wiimotes to move around and stuff. So yeah, I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's a very popular franchise, so yeah, why not? Why not? I say.
Yeah. And then,
Well, here we go.
Chris. So
Yep.
I had this thought the other day. What is the most berated game ever on Press A repeatedly? Was it Kingdom Hearts 3? Was it Days Gone? Or is it the game that will be released on November 8th, Death Stranding?
See, here's the thing. I feel like we talked a lot about. We made fun of Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot, but it was kind of in good fun. Like, it was a thing like, oh, it'll never be released. Yeah, that was the main thing, but we never, like, ragged on the actual gameplay itself, Like, we didn't dig so much into what the game actually is. Days Gone, the little attention we paid to it was all like, whatever, screw that game. Like, we barely even paid that one attention. Death Stranding. This, what, like, I feel like initially we were just confused about this game, but the more and more layers of the onion that have been peeled back, the more and more repulsed we have been by what has been revealed to us.
Yeah.
And we just got some gameplay footage, like Gamescom, I think just wrapped up, or it's in the middle, I don't know, as of right now where we started. But when they kicked off Gamescom, we got new Death Stranding footage and some gameplay and information. And Justin, there's no beating around the bush. There is a pee mechanic in Death Stranding.
I don't even know what to say to that. I just don't. I mean,
multiple people, Justin, can pee in the same spot, and a mushroom will grow in that spot. And if other people urinate on that mushroom will grow. So you can tell how many people have been to these different mushrooms by where the giant mushrooms are and who's peed on them. Why would that ever be a thing? What? Man. I guess Kojima's brilliant genius mind just escapes me. It's so far above and beyond what my mortal mind can comprehend that I just don't get it.
I feel like he was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going until they tell me to stop. And they never told him to stop.
What if... that's actually a great point. What if he's actively trying to, like, quit the video game industry, and he's like, I'm going to make the worst possible game I can think of. And
Death Stranding is the producers.
It is. It really is. He's like, okay. It's like he's like pulling his hair out behind the scenes. Okay, I got to think of something. Wait, peeing. That's perfect. No one is going to enjoy that. Nobody. So he puts it out there, and then people are like, yeah, that's going to be awesome. And he's just like throwing his hands up like, okay, whatever. Oh man, I am yeah. The official press A repeatedly states is we are not excited for Death Stranding whatsoever. No,
you know what? I'm excited to see it out, and I want to see people's reactions. And I'm excited to stop hearing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm excited to stop hearing about it. I'm excited to okay, I'll see. People are, I'm sure, gonna share like screens of it and like different things that they're doing. I'm excited to see people like sniff Kojima's farts even more after the game is released. Man. Let's move on.
All right. So we have another big day in November. On November 15th, 3 games are being released at the same time. The first one I didn't even hear about. Jumanji, the video game. Have you heard about this?
I had not. From what I understand, they are remaking the Jumanji movie, so that's probably going to be a tie-in with the movie when it's released. So
I thought that movie came out already.
Did it?
Yeah, like a while ago, like last year.
Oh, wait. That was yes, you're right. That was the movie with The Rock and Jack Black, and like right?
Yeah.
That's the movie?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Then well, there you go. It's a tie-in. It's just a year late. So
Yeah, weird.
So whatever. Yeah, Jumanji's whatever. That's nothing compared to the other two games that are coming out this day. Justin, are you prepared? November 15th, we've got Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield coming out.
Yeah.
That's the big one. And you've also got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order coming out the same day. The same day!
Yeah.
The same day! Oh my god, like how can you choose?
I don't know. That's gonna be. I think a lot of people are gonna buy both. I think Pokemon is gonna sell like record-breaking. Like
oh man!
It's gonna be insane. I don't know what would stop. I mean, like even when like the re-releases of like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire came out, I remember because it was the same day that Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U came out. It was three things were being released that day. It was Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Alpha Sapphire and Ruby Red or whatever they were called for 3DS, and it was the launch of Amiibo, the first round of Amiibo. And I went to Nintendo World in New York, and I was in line, and I thought everybody would be there for Smash, and it was like maybe half Smash and half Pokemon. I couldn't believe how many people were there for Pokemon. And that was a re-release of one that came out years ago. This is a brand new Pokemon game on first time ever on a console. It's going to be insane.
Yep. Yeah, everyone's going to be lining up to play as my precious boy Grookey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grookey Gang for life, hashtag.
And then, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Actually, It looks pretty cool. We saw a pretty sweet in-depth look at it at E3.
Yes.
The lightsaber fighting and stuff looks pretty cool. It's got a unique story with some good acting and voice acting in it. Graphics look pretty good. It reminded me of some of those early Lucasfilm games. There was one in particular for the Phantom Menace that it really reminded me of. I don't remember the name of that game, but I didn't think I would be interested in that, but after watching some video, I kind of want to get that and check it out. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I've come around on it. I know I was initially skeptical, but the game looks great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Then we've got November 19th, just a few days after that, the I'll believe it when I see it release date for Shenmue 3. Now, this one is going to be interesting to me because Shenmue, again, it's been a very, very long time since Shenmue 2 came out, and the gameplay and style of the game is very similar to what you see nowadays in the Yakuza series of games. Zool talked about those games last episode when he was on. So they're very, very similar in what you can do, and like you go around and do whatever. Everything's kind of like timed. So how well would a Shenmue 3 fit in a world now where we've got the Yakuza series of games, which is doing the same things that Shenmue was doing initially?
Yeah, that's a great point. And, Yakuza 3 Remaster just got released a few days ago as we record this, and plans for 4 and 5 Remaster coming down the line as well. So, yeah, and, it's been a long time since Shenmue 2. do people have forgotten about it maybe, or don't even really care that much anymore? It's also been a long time since, and again, I always think this is a problem, but it's been a long time since it was first announced because, they went through the whole Kickstarter to fund it and everything. So
Right.
all that hype was crazy like 5 or 6 years ago. And now everyone's like just kind of forgotten about it. And I also think it's crazy that 2019 bookend opened and closed with games that we never thought would be released, right? We got Kingdom Hearts 3 back in January, and now we got Shenmue 3 here in November. It's crazy. Again, I hope it does well. IMHO, it looked like absolute shit when they showed it off at E3. But again, I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. I'd never really played any of these. I hope that the cult fans that were interested in it still are interested and still can,
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, this game has been hyped for a long time. A lot of people have been clamoring for it. It's one of those things. It's similar to if Rare announced Banjo 3E was coming out next year or something. There's been fans who have been clamoring for it for forever. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Shenmue 3 is going to have its audience of fans, people who are going to pick it up and buy it no matter what. Probably people are going to pick it up just for the novelty of it, just to say, hey, I finally have my hands on this, this famous case of vaporware, Shenmue 3. But as for how well the game is actually going to be when it's finally released, who knows? I'm not personally looking to pick it up when it comes out, but I can understand a lot of people are. But we'll see. We'll see what a lot of reviews and people have to say when they actually get the game.
All right, and then wrapping up November, on November 22nd, Doom Eternal hits.
Doom Eternal. Yes.
And, that's going to be a huge game as well. The Doom reboot from a few years ago did very well, impressed many people. I think it won a lot of Game of the Year awards. Just that frantic gunplay, running so fast, and looking so good. People are really excited for it. It's going to have a bunch of new modes and stuff with Doom Eternal. I think there is some multiplayer online stuff that they're doing too. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a lot to offer for big Doom fans.
Yeah, it's got a lot to offer, and this is one that Bethesda kind of has not like a lot riding on it, but it's a win that Bethesda kind of desperately needs right now. They've had a really rough time PR wise over the past I would say couple of years. Fallout 76 landed with a very wet fart. It's Elder Scrolls Blades. I fell off of that a while ago. It just became too much of a grind to play. It's not that great to play after a while. They need something. They need something to get people excited and say, all right, you know what? Bethesda's back. Todd Howard's back on his A game. It's something that is going to get people back on Bethesda's side, because I feel like their reputation has taken a bit of a hit over recent years, and they need this to kind of remind people that, hey, we're back. It's Doom. This is the same Doom that you've always been happy about, excited for, and it's going to be a blast to play. And I don't know. Again, we'll have to see when the game comes out, but Bethesda needs this.
Yeah, I can't agree more. And that wraps up November. Now, according to this list here, there's only one game slated for release in December, and that is Episode 5 of Life is Strange 2. releasing on December 3rd. However, there is a large list of games that are still to be announced with their release dates. So, there's still some more games that could come up within these few months that we haven't even announced here, especially in December. So there's just plenty to look forward to for the end of 2019.
Yeah, plenty to look forward to towards the end of 2019. A lot of these games, I wouldn't be surprised you see at the beginning of 2020. Right in that, that January, February release window that a lot of companies are suddenly starting to pack their games into just to hit those end of year numbers. So, it'll be interesting. But, yeah, man, even if those games don't hit in 2019, we've already still got a lot, as we just went through coming out and the end of this year. So it's going to be a good thing, I think, because it'll actually give us some time, some breathing space to play some of these games.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of stuff to sort through. Like I said, maybe pick like 1 or 2 games each month that you really want to focus on, and then the other ones, get to later, get them on sale or something. I don't know, however you want to go about it. We're just here to help you kind of sort through the chaos that is about to let loose.
Yeah, and I mean, like, everyone's got like different tastes and different strokes. Like, you've got the people who are going to be into the sports games coming out, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I mean, hell, we're even going to have people who are interested in Death Stranding when that comes out. And if that's your thing, then so be it. You can just kind of hit that unsubscribe button right now and
go pee on a mushroom.
Go pee on a mushroom. Yeah, see, because apparently that's the pinnacle of gameplay right there. So, 2019, going to be a lot of fun, really exciting. Man, Justin, my poor wallet.
Of all those games we list, what do you think is your number one? Most interested in?
My most interested?
Yeah.
I think I'm still coming back to the Outer Worlds. Same team that worked on the original Fallout games. Everyone who played previews of the game say it is awesome. It reminds everyone of the original Fallout games when they'd first come out. It has that same feel. The game just looks gorgeous. Like, they have a screenshot here on the Game Informer page. It just looks beautiful. I think Outer Worlds is still my number one.
Yep, can't argue that. Great choice. I'm a Luigi boy. Can't wait for Luigi's Mansion 3. But really, I mean, there's just so much to go through. I kind of want to not have friends anymore, so I can just play video games instead.
I feel like that's more than fair. Yeah. Why even bother having friends when you can just play video games?
Yep. And that with that
with that.
Yeah. That's gonna do it for this week. Remember, Press It repeatedly posts new episodes Tuesdays on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Podbean, YouTube, and Spotify. If you like what you hear, please take a moment to rate and review the show, or tell your friends about us. It helps other people find the podcast and will really help us grow. And thank you to all who have rated, reviewed, and subscribed so far. We love you.
You can follow us on our Facebook page or on Twitter and Instagram. We are at PAR_podcast. I'm at cgold113, and Justin is at oaf7724. You can email us any questions or comments at parpodcast@gmail.com. That's podcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to check us out on our website on pressarepeatedly.com. And that's all for this week. Chris and Justin signing off. And remember to send your lovable students into the merciless fields of death and slaughter. Press A repeatedly. Now to pee on a mushroom.